Being transgender comes with a long list of disadvantages, and you already know that. But have you ever considered that there's also quite a few advantages to being trans? So, for example, I recently received an unlimited 3-month scholarship to the yoga studio in my town. Awesome. And I was also able to participate in a year-long embodied leadership group coaching program. And it was with one of my favorite teachers in the space. And all of that was because I'm trans. That's it. It's just like the people in charge enjoy supporting trans people. And it's not like they're going above and beyond because I'm some super famous YouTuber with over 150 subscribers. No, they're giving me this level of care simply because I'm trans. And apparently, being trans comes with certain perks. And I can't imagine that I'm the only one getting perks for being trans. So maybe you could just let me know in the comments if you've had similar experiences. And yeah, I get it. It's not like this for everyone. And I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that we are faced with serious disadvantages. All of that is real. But I do feel like, in general, we are trending in the right direction. And I love the fact that diversity and inclusion, or at the very least, the appearance of diversity and inclusion, is a priority to Western society. Again, so another example, a few months ago, I was invited to be a guest speaker at a women's empowerment gathering in my town. It was called a goddess gathering. It was pretty awesome. So it was a small event, probably 100 people or so. And the lady who was organizing the event, she valued diversity. And even though all the attendees were cis, she recognized that by giving me an opportunity to speak, that was contributing to a more well-rounded event. And so I'm all for that. And I was a little bit surprised at how awesome the event actually was. Like, it was super beautiful. Really, I was just so blown away by the kindness of these people. And it was like everyone was going out of their way to make me feel loved and appreciated. That was awesome. And yeah, sure, I could be cynical about that. And I could have some woke perspective about, they shouldn't be treating me differently because I'm trans, or I could accuse them of perpetuating some sort of gender division. I could just formulate some sort of ridiculous theory about why I'm this perpetual victim and the world is out to get me, and how the things that are happening are just never how they're supposed to be. But all of that would just be nonsense, and it wouldn't be truthful, because here's the thing. I'm trans, and my life is really hard sometimes. And if I'm being honest, I actually do need extra love and attention. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, like, I do need people to be extra kind to me because it helps. And so that right there, it's like this extra dose of, I see you and I support you. Well, in my opinion, that is like one of the coolest things about being trans. Because everywhere I go, people want me to succeed. And not only do they want that for me, but they're willing to go out of their way to help me. They give me scholarships, they give me opportunities, they smile at me, they hug me, they pay attention to me. And they do it in ways that balance the scales. And it's like, on one hand, yeah, there is hate, there is violence, there is oppression. But then on the other hand, there is love. Like, there is assistance, there is togetherness. So that's the point that I'm trying to drive home in this conversation. People want you to have a good life. People want you to beat the odds. People want you to thrive. And I know this to be true because I am constantly being reminded of it. And everywhere I go, I feel like people see me, and then to themselves, they're secretly saying to themselves, like, yeah, you go, girl, And ever since the day that I came out and I started showing up to life as truthfully me, everything has been different. It's been more challenging, yes, of course, but in a weird way, it's also been easier. Well, okay, maybe easier isn't quite the right word, but I do feel like I'm more supported in being this, not just externally, but internally as well. And I feel like I have access to a greater sense of resourcefulness and resilience. And I feel like I've opened up some sort of energetic portal within the world. And it feels like there's just good things that are flowing my way, all because like I'm just being trans. It's not like I'm doing something special. It's just simply that I'm being myself. And I feel like being myself and honoring who I am, that's the very thing which is giving me the extra strength to navigate these extremely challenging aspects of my journey. And just as a side note, another thing to keep in mind as we're talking about opportunity, well, oftentimes opportunity requires some kind of sacrifice, right? Meaning things might have to change, whether those things are internal or external, in order for you to align with that opportunity. So, for example, when I started my transition, what did I do? Well, I moved. I completely started over and I placed myself in a more favorable and supportive environment. And I also began doing major inner work in order to purify and remove anything that was standing in the way of me and this opportunity of me, if that makes sense. So, over years, after taking many, many steps in this direction, slowly it feels like things are just getting better. It feels like my inner environment, which is open and grateful and receptive, feels like it has been shifting things in my outer environment. And so now when I engage with someone or I'm pursuing a new opportunity, I have this perspective where I'm just expecting things to work out. It's like I'm expecting the dice to roll in my favor. And if they don't, that's fine. But the way that I see it is if I'm going to have a feeling or an opinion about something that I'm working on, well, that thought or that feeling might as well be a good one. Does that make sense? So now I've got this, possibly delusional idea in my head that, like, well, yeah, of course, this YouTube channel is going to explode. Of course, I'm going to meet the love of my life. Of course, I'm going to find incredible community. It's almost like, well, why wouldn't I? It's just, those are the things I've started to expect of my life and of my surroundings. And I think those things because internally, I've shifted myself into this opportunity mindset. And I do truly feel like things are working out in my favor. And so, in my opinion, like that right there is the key to leveraging your transgender nature. So, that's the key to leveraging your challenge in order to create an opportunity. You recognize that this experience is here for you. It's serving you, it's guiding you, it's teaching you. And you've come to this realization that this way of life is quite literally your path forward. So, that's how you can position yourself or orient yourself in a certain kind of way so that opportunity can happen to you, if that makes sense. So that doesn't mean that you need to look or believe or do anything in particular, but it does mean that you are honoring your internal situation and you're giving yourself this permission to just be yourself, like really whatever that happens to look like in your specific situation. And so instead of holding yourself back, you're taking that next step and you're giving this world the most magnificent gift that you could ever offer it. And that's the gift of you. And if you want to learn how to discover, cultivate, embody, and then offer this world that gift, then you should watch this video and I will guide you through what I call the queer hero's journey. All right, my friend, see you in the next one.